gonna start making blogs about my daily life and keep up with my fans and people who watch like my YouTube channel. I think that's cool. You know, people, they always saw me practicing parkour, free running. They see some of my acting stuff, but no one ever really knows anything about me or where I'm from or about my life. So I'm gonna start blogging. You know, there's gonna be a lot of story about my life and how I am, how I got where I am. You know, it's kind of like an underdog story. I started off in the projects, really. I started off in the projects of Canton, Ohio, and now I own my own successful business. It's about to take off. It's about to skyrocket with so much business. I own a film and photography business after I got into the Ohio film industry doing stunt work. I kind of fell in love with just everything to do with film. I just didn't want to stop. I didn't want to just be a stuntman. I was like, I can do more than that. So at certain sets, I just would hop behind the camera. I would be holding stuff to block the sun, to block the light away from the video cameraman. You know, I was with Johnny Woo and I was doing some stuff behind the camera there, and that's where I realized I was like, I'm not a stuntman. I'm more than that. I'm a director. You know, and I never thought that I'd be living the life doing two jobs that I completely love. I teach kids parkour, and parkour is my passion. I love to practice and stay in shape. But to be able to teach our youth in the communities of Canton, Cleveland, you know, all around Ohio, and I even teach seminars. I teach martial arts seminars, parkour seminars. We do big events like down in Edgewater by Cleveland. We just had that Parkour event. It was me and Orlando Santiago. He's the main man. He's an amazing guy. Vegan, very healthy, inspiring young man. He runs Temple Fitness. You should check him out because those guys, pure strength up on the bar, you know, calisthenics. By the way, I bounce I bounce back and forth a lot with my stories. You'll be like, I'll go from one thing to the next, you know. I apologize for that. Maybe it's my ADD. I don't know. Maybe I can come up with a better excuse than that. But you might be wondering why I'm wearing a beanie. I like to keep my cold air on because I just got this new truck and I love it. But I get kind of cold. I like the cold. I don't really like the heat all too much. I'd rather live in the winter. Anyway, so I'm heading to work right now. I always leave early to go to work to teach the kids parkour because I love my job. And then in my spare time when I'm not working teaching parkour, I'm actually a photographer. I am on top of the cage for the MMA events. I'm doing the photography for the fighters. I like to get the action shots. I'm trying to invest towards a new camera now because I'm dealing with new situations. You know, you start doing different photography situations and you need more. You gotta make more money. You gotta invest more. You gotta become more professional. So the only way is to get a specific camera that does well in low light, because you can't use a flash in the MMA, right? I mean, all photographers know. I mean, you can't use a flash because the fighters might get disoriented and, you know, you can mess them up. So the officials, they won't let you use the flashes. So I sit on top of the cage. There's usually a video guy across me. There's photographers down on the floor. I have an amazing time. I love it. I mean, I used to fight. I was a national champion from Canton, Ohio, in karate. I mean, it's a little different than martial art. I mean, mixed martial arts, it's a little different. But I mean, I was just a kid. You know, I was 16 years old, 15 years old, national champion. I really took pride in not me winning, but I took pride in winning in self-defense when I was Uki. So I would attack our other competition team. They would defend themselves against me, and I would attack them and they would throw me, and I'd make it look so damn good that we would win first place. I took pride in that. I didn't care about winning. When it came to me. But when it came to anybody else attacking me and we was doing self-defense, and we knew our competition team was that damn good, we were good. Our self-defense, it was better than anybody. I don't care. We come from the Canton, Ohio Boys Club. I don't know if anybody's heard of that, but man, those guys were old school. You walk in there, man, they'll kick your ass. And I'll tell you what, that's where I'm gonna start my story. I was just a young punk ass kid on the streets. Me and my cousin Kyle, man, we was getting in trouble. You know, I used to steal. I used to steal. I used to beat kids up. Because when I was in the projects, I got beat up a lot. You know, that's your way in. That's your only way you can go outside and hang out in the neighborhood, is if you get your ass kicked and people respect you. But it wasn't too long until, you know, the violence and the culture of the violence started kicking in, and next thing you know, I was actually beating people up in the projects. So this is before martial arts. So I was fighting all the time. My mom, she hated it. She would go running to the other parents. The parents would be borderline fighting because their kids are out there fighting, you know. So my mom, she got me into martial arts. She knew I liked fighting and I needed the discipline. I was a really bad kid. I mean, I went from having straight F's in middle school to straight A's in high school. From freshman all the way to sophomore year. I actually got a full-ride scholarship to the University of Toledo, which we'll get there. That's another part of the story. But for now, I feel like I kind of have a connection with the fighters that I take pictures of, because I can relate to them. I can anticipate their movements. You know, any photographer can stand up on the cage with a camera, but can you predict what's going to happen? Can you sense the next hit? Can you sense where that fighter's going to punch the guy? And can you snap that picture at that very moment? And all fighters are different. You got to start getting familiar with the way they move, the way they fight, the way they think, you know, because to get that good picture, that's how you got to be. And I feel like I do have a connection with that, because I mean, the history of the fighting and the martial arts mostly, because I mean, I used to go to the tournaments with fighting and sparring and whatnot, and I actually won. That's where I won first place nationally in fighting. But karate, it's a lot different. Karate is like a game of tag, you know, until you're a black belt, and then it's full contact. But mixed martial arts, man, those guys are in the cage. Some of those guys are in there to kill each other. It's a whole nother ball game. It's not just Mr. Miyagi, you know, you're not just standing on the boat doing your balance anymore. You are in the cage to kill the other guy, you know. And I mean, there's a lot of fighters, they will fight each other in a very aggressive manner when it comes to punching, kicking, you know, they want to hit each other hard, they want to knock each other out. But what about the ones who are calm, the ones who can lay on the ground in a submission hold, knowing that they're going to win because they know they got the game of chess beat. They know that they're going to flip that guy over and put him in a triangle, or, you know, they're going to reverse it, they'll get him in, you know, something. They know that they got it beat, you know. The only reason this guy's got a hold on me is because I let him, because I'm setting him up for something he don't even know about. That's the stuff I like. I like the game. I like the chess game. That's what I try to anticipate. And it's very hard. But thanks to people like Mike Stahl, Pete Mahoney, Gary Grimwood, these are all people who, they were all in my life and taught me a lot about this stuff when I was going to tournaments and I was competing. Even every single day in the dojo, they would teach me everything there was. And Pete, our instructor, he was fierce. He's not much into teaching martial arts anymore, but all I know is that, man, he put a real impact on every single person's lives that were in that room. And it changed my life, I know that. Because, I mean, how does a kid go from getting straight F's to straight A's? You know, he put the fear of God in me. I was scared shitless of that man. So, yeah, I'll end it at that. You know, we're going on like 10 minutes with this first blog, so I feel like that's pretty long. You know, how many people are going to watch that? It's kind of ridiculous how long it is, but I heard of a guy. He literally records his whole life. And I'm not a very good writer nor a reader. You know, I barely read any books. I am very smart. I mean, street smart. I grew up in the ghetto. I dealt with a lot of things. I'm from Canton, Ohio. Anybody from Canton, Ohio, or East Side Cleveland is street smart. You know that. But yeah, I'll end it at that. Come on, Xavier. Go, go, go.
You dove out a little bit, but I need you to back out a little further. Behind you. That's it. Usually you were on the ground here.
Good. I like it, Chris.
I want you to follow my boss. Okay, you go through here.
Oh, we're actually does. Back in line. Come on. Oh, trust me.
So we are.
Come on, Nick, get over there, get over there.
Guys, once they get on this, you go right away.
Oh, look at that, dude.
Just
That'll go. Come on, Chris, move. Traverse. There it is. There it is. Go. Make sure you look behind you. Look behind, Chris. Look behind. There it is. Good. Jump across. Look behind. Very good. Go. Dylan, you know you can go.